Ilia, what do you think? You know, not make sense. I fought with Ilia for what? Not belt, nothing, you know. Money, I have money, I don't need money.
Because I really believe that I can beat the current champion, Islam.
И посмотрим, кто кого финиширует.
There's all these opponents, they all say they want to finish me in the first or second round. I already said, if you can make 155, you can get into the cage. Let's talk about it then.
It's not going to be Ilia Topuria. In fact, I'm told it is going to be Justin Gaethje.
Islam Makhachev has ruled out the possibility of facing Ilia Topuria at UFC 317 as speculation of a battle between the two fighters began to circulate. He believes that this match is illogical. Ilia Topuria just posted a tweet on his X account stating that he has begun his training session and that Spanish reporters had confirmed that he would be competing for a title at UFC 317. The camp has begun. As Ilia Topuria begins his training camp, UFC legend Michael Bisping responds by pointing out that his name is widely visible online. He interprets this as an obvious indication that the buildup has started. Bisping gives Islam Makhachev the advantage in wrestling, but he gives Topuria the advantage in boxing. Volkanovski can attest to Islam's swift kicks, he says, but Topuria's strong lead leg stance might be a vulnerability. Bisping anticipates that Makhachev will utilize calf kicks to control range and target that leg. He also observes Islam using head kicks because Topuria is shorter. According to him, the fans would undoubtedly want to witness this fight, and it would draw enormous crowds.
Well, we know one thing, camp has begun. All you got to do is Google the name Ilia Topuria. It's all over the internet. It's all over Twitter. It's everywhere. Camp has begun. But I think Islam's wrestling is probably a little bit better. But if we just say that, if you look at the striking styles, Ilia Topuria, I favour him as the boxer. Islam Makhachev, he's got some nice little kicks, just as Alexander Volkanovski, right? But the problem is with Ilia Topuria, with that boxing style, he's very, very heavy on that lead leg. So you're going to look for Islam Makhachev to chip away with calf kicks, try and keep him at bay with Ilia being the shorter guy, then bring the kicks upstairs. Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, that would do huge numbers, and we all want to see it.
However, Chael Sonnen denied Topuria's assertions and stated that a bout between Islam and Topuria is not likely to occur in the near future. Sonnen added that he has been informed that Justin Gaethje will likely be Islam's next adversary. After ruling out Gaethje, Islam, Poirier, and Max Holloway, Sonnen looked into possible opponents for Topuria. He asked who would be the best fit for Topuria, given that the top-tier names aren't available, including Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan, and Paddy Pimblett as potential rivals.
It's not going to be Ilia Topuria. In fact, I'm told it is going to be Justin Gaethje. But the next best thing, if it's not Ilia Topuria, who would Ilia Topuria face? You got Charles, you got Tsarukyan, you got Paddy the Baddy. Who would you put with Ilia Topuria? But those are your options. Gaethje, Islam, off the board. Poirier, Max, off the board. Third time.
Islam Makhachev has also stated that he has no interest in competing at featherweight and wants to advance. Islam complained that he was being challenged by fighters in lesser weight divisions. He claimed that, similar to the Volkanovski fight, defeating Ilia Topuria would not help him. Islam so hopes to become a two-division champion in order to leave a lasting legacy.
If I beat, I beat the Volkanovski twice. People still say, you beat small guy,
yeah.
He's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be the same. Everybody gonna talk same. But if I
go up,
go up, takes a second belt, this is a legacy.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev freely acknowledged that Bilal Muhammad somewhat derailed his aspirations to get to the welterweight class, which was always his goal. He clarified that the situation became more complex because they became good friends and had the same manager. Nevertheless, Makhachev stated that no one can foretell the future and that they both have the same goal, becoming a double champion, for example.
Honestly, Bilal killed my plan, you know?
Yeah.
We become like close friends, we have same manager, we can talk, you know. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be the same. Everybody gonna talk same. But if I
go up,
go up, takes a second belt, this is a legacy.
Yeah.
I want to be like you know. Champ, how many? 11 times defend your belt.
You're on your way, man. You're on your way. Like I said, there's nothing. Like I said, I think what you're doing now, one defeat. You know, you got finishes. You got great fights.
Agree. If I have some real contender after Arman, I'm not looking behind him. You know?
Yeah.
But if I have some real contender,
It's you
I
kind
will
of
defend my belt.
Yeah, I mean, the fight with that's the thing that when you fought Charles Oliveira, I told people, I was like, here's the difference. Charles is good because he just fights.
Belal Muhammad, the welterweight champion, shares this opinion and is opposed to fighting his friend Islam. Belal Muhammad declared that because of his deep regard and allegiance to Islam Makhachev and his squad, he would not fight him. He listed a number of possible opponents for Islam, including as Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan, who are both awaiting rematches, Justin Gaethje, who recently won a significant fight, and Paddy Pimblett, who made headlines with his victory over Michael Chandler.
Yeah, I mean, no, I wouldn't fight him. Like I said, I think their team, they've done so much for me. They helped me so much that it wouldn't be worth it for me to fight those guys. There's just way too much respect and loyalty on my end. But I think people are just like wondering, and they're just hoping for him to fight. They're looking for any excuses for him, right? Like there's guys right now in that division that make sense. Like Justin Gaethje makes sense. He's coming off a big win. He's 3-1 in his last 4 fights. People are going to tune into Justin Gaethje. He hasn't fought Justin Gaethje yet. You got Paddy Pimblett, who just came off a huge finish of Michael Chandler. Like, he has a big name. That's another fight that makes sense. You got Charles Oliveira waiting for a rematch, Arman waiting for a rematch. There's plenty of guys.
Belal Muhammad believes that before Ilia Topuria can challenge Islam Makhachev for the title, she should fight someone else, since it wouldn't be worthwhile for Islam to face another former featherweight. He thinks that he and his group will be criticized regardless of what Islam does. Muhammad proposes letting Topuria win first to give the fight more significance because, according to Islam, respect will only be shown when he defeats them.
I think that Ilia definitely needs to fight somebody before he gets that title shot, because it's not really worth it for Islam to fight another 45er or give another 45er a chance, because people are, no matter what they do, people are gonna hate on Islam, hate on Team Khabib, no matter what happens. So for him, it's like, you guys are gonna give me the respect I deserve anyway if I beat him, so let him get a win first, and then it'll be worth it.
Belal Muhammad also predicts that Islam Makhachev would defeat Ilia Topuria by the second round, indicating that he is not the most formidable opponent. He recognizes the knockout power of Gaethje and believes that Islam dominates the majority of boxers in the division. Muhammad also mentioned that an injury had an impact on Arman Tsarukyan's close first battle with Islam. Many competitors, including Oliveira, Tsarukyan, and Poirier, are refusing to fight unless it's for a title.
But how do you think that fight would go, Islam and Ilia? Do you think Ilia is the toughest challenge for him in that division right now, by the way?
No, I think he would finish Topuria probably like by the second round. I think in the division, stylistically, I mean, I honestly, I see Islam just like dominating all these guys. Obviously, Justin always has that knockout chance. He always has that power. And then Arman, that first fight was so good, so close, but coming off that injury the day before the fight, it sucks because he has to get another fight, and nobody really wants to fight him right now. But yeah, you got a lot of these guys in the division are saying, I'm not fighting nobody unless for the title. Like Charles said it, Arman said it, now Topuria saying it. So like the UFC just needs to put their foot down and tell these guys, yo, you fight you, shut up.
Luke Thomas wondered if fighting Ilia Topuria next or waiting would be more beneficial to Islam Makhachev's legacy. He agreed that defeating Topuria would undoubtedly contribute to the legacy of Islam. He did stress, though, that Topuria is a serious threat and by no means an easy opponent. Although Volkanovski was a formidable opponent as well, Thomas pointed out that Topuria poses a distinct threat to Volk, which heightens the interest in the possible matchup.
What's going to do more for Islam's legacy if he fought Topuria next? And you might say, well, if he beats Topuria, that would add a lot to his legacy. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. No question about it. But one, Topuria is a real threat. Topuria is a real threat. And by no means can walk in the park. Neither was Volk, certainly. But, you know, Topuria is a different kind of threat than Volk.
Ilia Topuria is extremely difficult to deal with, and Luke Thomas called him a bolt of lightning. Thomas pointed out that there is a frustrating but enduring myth that Islam Makhachev only defeats former featherweights Volkanovski, Moicano, and Poirier, all of whom advance from 145, even if he defeats him.
Topuria is a bolt of lightning. I mean, it's tough to deal with him. And even if you beat him, you know, there's this stupid narrative that follows him, but it's a real one in the sense that it exists. Namely, oh, all he does is beat 45ers, not just Volk, but, you know, Moicano comes up, he's a former 45er, and, you know, you'll go on down the list. It's just a Poirier, former 45er. You know, it's just so it's like yet another 45er who moved up, and I think that doesn't meaningfully move the needle for him. By contrast, if he was able to fight Jack Della Maddalena at 170, even if he loses, it's not as disastrous as a loss to Topuria, in part because he would still keep his title.
Daniel Cormier asked if Islam Makhachev should take on Ilia Topuria next, implying that detractors would attempt to minimize the victory even if Islam prevailed. He clarified that some could claim that Islam only defeated featherweights like Volkanovski and Topuria, as well as opponents who were lower ranked or arrive on short notice, like Charles Oliveira or Dariush. No matter how powerful a champion is, there will always be attempts to undermine them, Cormier stressed. Regardless of the narratives people attempt to construct, he believes that Islam is the world's greatest combatant and that this should be honored.
I don't know that Islam should fight him first. For Makhachev, he goes and beats Ilia Topuria, right? People will say he beat Volk, he beat Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira, Renato Moicano. Seems pretty good. That's 5 title fight wins. But in that, it would say, well, he's defended the belt 3 times against featherweights. Because at the end of the day, guys, it doesn't matter what you do or in high regard you hold someone. The fact that he was the champion in the lower weight class is what's going to be pointed to the moment Islam beats him. Because anytime you have a dominant champ, anytime, you look for reasons to discredit them. Happens all the time. He beat a featherweight, and he beat a featherweight, and then he beat a guy that was ranked lower on a day's notice. People will always try to find holes in his title reign when those title reign holes aren't there. He is the best fighter in the world, and we should respect that. But Justin Gaethje seems to be the guy that could be next, but Ilia Topuria is there. Also, Arman Tsarukyan has a claim to maybe getting a title fight. 155 right now is a complete mess. It's a mess.
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria believes that Islam Makhachev is afraid to fight him, and that's why he is moving up and doesn't want to fight him. Topuria had great confidence that he would easily beat Islam and said the Dagestani fighter is afraid to lose his belt against him.
Lo que sí hemos podido ver es primero que Makhachev no se abre del todo a pelear contigo, quizás porque tenga algún tipo de...
¿Tiene miedo? Claro que tiene miedo, por supuesto. Es como, siempre es una pelea fácil hasta que te ponen el nombre en el contrato, ¿no? Así que todos lo sabemos. Si fuera tan fácil y si fuera tan enano como él dice, ya compartiría el octógono conmigo, ¿no? Por algo no quiere. Yo lo entiendo, así que está bien. Súbete hacia arriba.
Cormier praised Islam as the lightweight champion, one of the greatest ever, and the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He addressed rumors that Islam turned down a fight with Topuria, possibly believing Ilia hasn't earned it yet. Sonnen dismissed the rumors as fake news and an insult to both men. He pointed out that Islam has never backed down from a challenge, referencing his short-notice fight against Renato Moicano as proof of his willingness to fight anyone, anytime.
Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion of the world, one of the greatest fighters of all time, and the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Rumors are coming out that he said no to a fight with Ilia Topuria. They feel he needs to do something first. What do you make of that when you first hear it? Like, he doesn't want to fight Topuria just yet, at least.
My first sense is that's fake news. And it's a real insult to Ilia, to Islam. I don't believe that Islam's scared to fight anybody. I think the evidence of that camp, no preparation, just because it's the right thing to do.
Joe Rogan also warned Ilia Topuria about the size of Islam Makhachev. He pointed out that Islam Makhachev is a massive guy and questioned how he even makes the 155-pound lightweight limit. Every time Rogan stands next to Islam, he can't believe he's in that weight class, estimating that Islam probably walks around at 190 pounds. Topuria was also amazed to know the size of Islam.
Like Islam Makhachev is huge. I mean, that guy, how he makes 155 is, I don't understand it. Every time I stand next to him, like, how are you 155?
How much do you think he walks around?
He's got to be 190-ish, in the 190 range. He's got to be. That's what he looks like to me.
I never saw him in a person.
Yeah, he's thick. He's thick and big. I mean, he's not a 155-pound man.
The featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski also talked about this matchup and focused on whether Ilia Topuria can land a clean shot on Islam Makhachev, believing it's definitely possible. He highlighted Topuria's confidence in his boxing and his determination to eventually find the opponent's chin. Even when things aren't going smoothly, Topuria stays committed and keeps pressing forward. Volkanovski pointed out that Islam is a tough and defensive fighter who will likely approach the fight cautiously, knowing the danger Topuria brings with his power.
Can Ilia catch him? You know, that's what it is, and he definitely can. Ilia's very, especially with his approach, He really backs his strike and his boxing. He really knows that he will eventually find the chin, and he's stoic till that happens. You know what I mean? He is on task, and he doesn't, you know what I mean? He'll go, even if things aren't working, he's still going to try and find it. So I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him, because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know he needs to play it safe with Ilia, because he knows Ilia is going to have that puncher's chance. But I just think them later rounds, you know, is going to be very difficult for Ilia.
Volkanovski acknowledged that if Ilia Topuria puts his hands on anyone and traps them in the wrong spot, it could be game over. He believes Topuria has the power to knock out anyone, even in the lightweight division. However, based on what he's seen, Volkanovski thinks that landing a big shot might be Topuria's only real path to victory against someone like Islam Makhachev.
Ilia can, if he puts hands on anyone, like if he traps them, you know, gets them where they don't want to be and lands a nice big shot, it's going to be game over. You know, I mean, he can knock out anyone, even in the lightweight division. But yeah, I just believe that probably would be his only chance.
A possible conflict between Islam and Topuria also excites Aaron Pico. He claimed that it is beneficial to the sport and that people are eager to witness a bout between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. Everybody has their own style, he said, and Topuria follows what suits him, but he thinks Islam might be too much for him. Even as a fan, Pico would have been thrilled to witness the action. Kamaru Usman went on to say that Topuria appeared to be a true champion, fulfilling his commitments and then abruptly relinquishing the championship. Given that he had previously noticed weaknesses in Topuria's strategy, Usman thought that was odd.
That's what a champion essentially is supposed to look like. Make the calls, go out there, deliver on the calls, then all of a sudden vacates the title. I mean, how do you feel? Because you said earlier, like, you were looking at him and going, there's holes here.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would have loved to see that.
According to Max Holloway, opposing Islam Makhachev is difficult. He noted that Islam's fighting style, which combines powerful wrestling with firm striking, is difficult to handle. Holloway thinks it's even more difficult to remain consistent against someone like Makhachev now that he's growing more self-assured and infatuated with his striking.
Prediction, potentially if they did fight Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. You know, it's hard to go against him. His fighting style is a tough one. You know, he likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. So, I mean, it's hard to bet against Islam.
Dominic Cruz also praised Ilia Topuria for dropping his championship and entering the lightweight class right away, describing it as a brave and self-assured move. He thinks Topuria is capable of defeating Islam Makhachev. Cruz says it's about controlling the range, keeping Makhachev on his heels, and keeping the fight on the feet. It is significantly more difficult for wrestlers to time their takedowns when they are forced backward.
And you got to tip your hat to Ilia too. He vacated the title to drop into not just at the top of the division, but just drop into the lightweight division. It's a lot of confidence and it takes a lot of balls.
Well, do you think he has the tools to beat Islam?
Of course he does. Yeah, he has the tools. It's keep it on the feet, dictate the range, and keep Makhachev on his heels. You keep a wrestler on his heels, it's hard for them to time the shot.
The potential welterweight title fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria is causing debate. The question remains whether Islam will achieve double champ status or Topuria will dominate with confidence and power. Fans are waiting and debating, as MMA can be unpredictable.